Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Daily Red Devil. We have so much to get into on the show this morning, but before we do that, if you are watching today for the first time, please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and make sure to give the video a like as well. We're on the target today of 1,000 likes on this video, so please go and do that. It doesn't cost you any money, it's completely free, and it would really help out the channel. Oh, I've got a bit of a tickly throat. Right, we're going to be talking today about Benjamin Cesco. We're going to be talking today about Antony, apparently a bid coming from Saudi. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Garnacho. We have lots to get into. But before we do all that, I want to talk to you about the striker situation. Do you think Manchester United are actually going to sign a striker this window? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are we going to get the striker? That's the big question. Is it going to be Sesko? Maybe. Is it going to be Ollie Watkins? Maybe. Let me know your thoughts. I want to know in the comment section. Some people are saying that they don't think we're even going to get a striker now. You know, that we're not going to get one. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. We've kind of let all the options go, haven't we? Obviously, Gyökeres is gone. Jonathan David's gone. Liam Delap's gone. Osimhen's gone. Those were our kind of top four targets. And what's left now is Ollie Watkins, who's 30 in a couple of months. Good player, but maybe not worth 50, 60 million at the age of 30. Cesco, apparently Newcastle in talks with him as well. But the story this morning is that apparently Benjamin Cesco, we'll talk about Cesco first. Apparently Benjamin Cesco wants to join Manchester United over Newcastle. I mean, can you really blame him? Like, come on. Like, all due respect to Newcastle, you know, they're a good club, but they're nothing on Manchester United by way of stature. So, yeah, I mean, it's not really that surprising. The latest on Cesco this morning is that apparently Cesco's agent is in talks with Newcastle, but the story says that Manchester United can't be ruled out at this point. They are still in the race. But Fabrizio said this. He says that Newcastle, to make an official bid, are waiting for Benjamin Cesco to see what the player wants to do. But Newcastle will go big on Benjamin Cesco. He says, we'll see what Manchester United try and do on Cesco, if they want to try for this one or if they decide to move on for different targets. I mean, the fact that Newcastle are speaking to him already and are being described as wanting to go big on the transfer, i.e. pay lots of money, big wages, and Manchester United are still deciding if they even want him. I mean, it doesn't really paint a very good picture, does it? Realistically. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a story saying that apparently his agent reached an agreement in principle. I mean, an agreement in principle is just that, you know, he's happy with the wages they're going to offer. Yeah. I personally don't think that we're going to get Benjamin Cesco, in my opinion. I don't think. Yes, he wants to join Manchester United over Newcastle, but Manchester United aren't even putting in bids for him. We're messing around. Whereas Newcastle are here, negotiating with his agent, agreeing personal terms, speaking to Leipzig. Whereas we're still deciding if we even want to sign the player, which is, yeah, I mean, we're clearly not at the front of that race, are we? And that's not because he's rejected Manchester United and all the rest of it. So don't let people tell you that. It's simply because Manchester United are just messing around, as we always do. We're messing around. We should be signing this player. We need a striker. We don't have a striker. We have Rasmus Højlund and that's it. But we're not. So, yeah. I personally don't think we'll get him. I think he'll go to Newcastle. I think probably Isak will probably leave Newcastle and go to Liverpool. And we'll get towards the end of the window. And who knows? Who knows what will happen? Maybe Garnacho goes to Villa and we get Ollie Watkins. You know, that's a possibility. But, yeah, it's not looking particularly good in the Cesco situation. But just to be clear, Cesco would like to join Manchester United, even though we don't have European football. And the story this morning is that Benjamin Cesco would rather move to Manchester United than move to Newcastle. So there you go. But like I said, it's all good and well Benjamin Cesco wanting to come to Manchester United. But if we don't put in a bid, we don't do personal terms, then it's kind of irrelevant, isn't it? You know, we're interested, but we're not actually interested enough to be doing what Newcastle are doing, which is speaking to the agent, you know, really trying to get this deal over the line. So I think he'll end up at Newcastle, but you never know. You never know with Manchester United. Maybe we wake up this morning and we get a Man United have put in a bid for Benjamin Sesko. It wouldn't surprise me, because I think that's one thing that I think Ineos deserves some credit for. It's frustrating, this, but it's also somewhat positive. And that is that we don't really know what's going on. And we make out that they don't know what's going on. But I think what actually is happening is they're potentially, I mean, this is just a theory. Like, we don't know about news until it kind of happens. Whereas before, we'd know every single Man United target like 6 months in advance, wouldn't we? And you'd know every single detail of every single bit. Whereas with this, stuff kind of just drops out of nowhere. That happened last year, didn't it? But so hopefully they surprise us, is what I'm saying. Hopefully we're being overly critical. When we wake up this morning and it's like Man United have put in a bid for Cesco, and great, but I don't think that'll happen. But moving on from there, let's talk a little bit about Antony. So there's a story this morning saying that apparently Al-Nassr, Ronaldo, and Jorge Jesus' team want to sign Antony. It says Al-Nassr signed a purchase offer for the player. Apparently Manchester United are asking for 50 million euros. So apparently Al-Nassr attempting to sign Antony from Manchester United. 50 million euros is the asking price. I mean, there's some people saying that he's going to sign for Al-Nassr. Some people saying that, Man United are in negotiations with Al-Nassr. I mean, if we get 50 million euros for Antony, was it euros or pounds? Let me just check. I can't remember what I said. 50 million pounds Manchester United are asking for. Wow. That's crazy. We may actually, I'm just trying to work out, how much did we pay for Antony? It was a lot of money, wasn't it? We paid 95 million euros, which is what, 85 million pounds? That was 3 years ago. So if we do 85 million divided by 5-year contract, times by 2. So Antony's current book value, which is the most important thing in relation to PSR, Antony's current book value is £34 million, which means that if we sell him for anything more than £34 million, it would be classed as profit. So if we sold him for £50 million, that would go down as 16 million profit. And now I know that doesn't make sense, because you're thinking, well, we paid 85 million for him. How can that be profit? But PSR is done in book value, and a book value is over the duration of a player's contract. Antony's been here for 3 years. We paid 85 million. So you do the length of the contract, which is 5 years, divided by the transfer fee. So 85 million divided by 5 is 17 million. So we've paid 17 million in the first year, 17 in the second, 17 in the third, and there's 34 million pounds book value left on his contract. So if we sell him for a penny more over 34 million, that would go down as profit. If we get 50 million for him, I'll be absolutely buzzing with that. I don't think that would even go down as that much of a flop if we managed to get 50 million quid back for him. But whether or not that will happen, whether or not Antony will actually want to move to Saudi is the big question. How old is he? I mean, he's 25 now. I was about to say, what is he, 21, 22? He's 25 now. He's not even that young anymore, is he? I get it when, you're a 19, 20-year-old and you've just burst onto the scene. Moving to Saudi is a little bit of a, stunts your career. But realistically, Antony will go to Saudi. He'll earn £500,000 tax-free a week, play alongside Ronaldo, probably win more trophies than he would have at Manchester United. I don't think it's that much of a step down for him, to be honest. So I wish him all the best. Hopefully this deal happens. £50 million, I would most certainly take that. But yeah, you can let me know what you think about all this, guys. I want to see your thoughts. I want to see your thoughts on all of these topics. Would you be happy with £50 million for Antony? Would you sell Benjamin Sesko to... Sorry, would you buy Benjamin Sesko? Let me know all your thoughts. Let me know all your thoughts on all of these topics. Fred says, but why would he go to Saudi? I mean, there's not really anybody else in for him, Fred. So he doesn't really have that many options. Real Betis want to loan him. Man United aren't going to do that. There's no one else really wanting him at the moment. Maybe something comes out of the woodwork later on into the window. But I feel like from Manchester United's perspective, the longer we let this ride out, the more chance that we'll get to the end of the window and it will be a loan deal. And that's the last thing we need, is a loan deal. Like, we really, really can't be loaning out Antony again. I'm sorry. Like, that just cannot happen. Yeah, we need to be like full force ahead with this deal, I think. Pushing him out. Yeah, that's my take on it. But you can let me know, obviously, maybe you disagree. Maybe you think, maybe you think Antony can play in the Italian league, or maybe you think that La Liga clubs are going to come in for him. But as it stands at the moment, it doesn't really look like many big clubs are in for Antony. Real Betis seems to be his biggest option. But you can obviously let me know. Let me know what you think about all that. Right, let's see what else in the chat. Johnny says, we'll get 50 from Antony, 7 from Malacia, 40 from Garnacho. That gives us nearly 100 million. Forget strikers and get the best central defensive midfielder we can. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea. I think the goalkeeper situation still needs to be addressed as well. Like, we desperately need a new goalkeeper. I think we need a new goalkeeper, a new central defensive midfielder, and a new striker. That would, in my opinion, get us competing for top 10. And I know that sounds embarrassing, but I think if we have a striker, a goalkeeper, and a midfielder, we'd be competing for top 10. If we don't have any of those positions filled, I reckon we'll probably be in the bottom half next season. Or maybe around 10th, maybe. Because Onana will make, I would say, 2 handfuls worth of mistakes that lead to goals, I reckon. 5 to 10 mistakes that would lead to goals in the Premier League and will cost us points. The lack of midfield will probably cost us the same amount. The amount of times we see our midfield be ran through. It even happened against West Ham in that friendly. We need another strong midfielder in there who's fit, who's fast, who's physical. So yeah, that desperately needs to happen. So yeah, we desperately need to bring in a midfielder, a goalkeeper, and a striker. Whether or not that will happen, who knows with Manchester United. I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know. I mean, even if you look at it very, very basically, right? The fact that we let Eriksen go, which was the correct decision, yeah? Eriksen left, correct decision. But we haven't brought in a replacement for Christian Eriksen. And I know people will be like, oh, he was past it, he wasn't very good. But he was still an experienced player who was in our squad, in the midfield. And he did play some games. And who's taken his position? Let me know in the chat. There isn't an answer. No one has taken Christian Eriksen's position. So, it's all good and well us being like, well, it isn't all good and well. We need a striker and a midfielder to fill the positions that we lost desperately. So yeah, it's one of those ones, isn't it, where it's a little bit frustrating, but it's hardly surprising with Manchester United, realistically. Even though we've got these new owners, I mean, they're not really new owners, are they? It's just the same people rebranded as someone different. It's the Glazers hiding under. It's the Glazers hiding underneath the Ineos banner, hiding under the local lad coming to save Manchester United banner, and we all know that. We're not stupid. They think we are, but we're not. We all know exactly what they're doing. We know exactly what the plan is, and we know exactly what they're trying to achieve, which is to build this new stadium, get as much investment, build hotels, build restaurants. That's effectively what the plan is. The plan is not football. The plan is how much money can we make from this area around Old Trafford? Because remember, the key thing to that whole story is Manchester United own a lot of the land around where the new stadium's going to be. So effectively, that land would then be sold off to people to build hotels, to build shopping malls, to build cinemas, to build like an entertainment park, which will bring in hundreds of millions of pounds for the Glazers and for Manchester United. Whether or not that money will actually go back into the club, that's where it remains to be seen. Will the land just be sold off and the Glazers and Ineos will then profit from it? That's probably the more likely option. But yeah, that's realistically why they're here. They can tell us that it's to, bring Manchester United back to where they want to be and all the rest of it. But when you're in a transfer window, which we are, the first game of the season is in 2 weeks now. 2 weeks this weekend coming is the first game of the transfer window. We've signed no goalkeeper, no midfielder, no striker. You could argue that we need a left wing back and a right wing back, realistically. Let's be real. Would you not? We don't have a specialist left wing back or right back, and we play a formation that needs a specialist left wing back and right wing back, and we have neither of those positions. So realistically, if we're going to be actually critical here, we probably need a goalkeeper, left wing back, right wing back, midfielder, striker, possibly even a centre back as well, because Lindelof left. So we probably actually need about 6 or 7 first team players. And we're all here as fans saying, we need three midfielders. One midfielder, one goalkeeper, one striker. We're all being pessimistic. Yeah. So if you actually really analyse the situation, if this was a serious club, we'd be literally buying goalkeeper, striker, midfielder, left wing back, right wing back. Because, yeah, I can see someone in the chat. Like, is Ahmad really going to work at right wing back? I think he's much better further up the pitch. Is Dorgu good enough to be a left wing back who's going to get us into the top 4? I don't think so. Our defensive options, Maguire, I like Maguire, he's solid. But when you look at our centre-back options, you could definitely add another centre-back in there, realistically. Lindelof's gone. Martinez is injured and always gets injured. So, can we count on Martinez? I don't think so. Martinez is injured more than he's not, right? Lindelof's gone. Martinez is injured. The only people we have left are Lenny Yoro, De Ligt, Aiden Heaven, Maguire, and there's somebody else. Who's the other one? Who am I missing? Lindelof, Aiden Heaven, Maguire, De Ligt, Lenny Yoro. We have 5 centre-backs for 3 positions. But the problem we have is that lots of these players seem to get injured quite a lot. Apparently Martinez is going to play in the tour. When was the last time Martinez played football, though? It's going to take him a while to get back up to match strength. Must have been 6 months ago? Luke Shaw, really? People are like, oh, what about Luke Shaw? It's like, we're literally scraping the barrel a bit here, guys. The fact that we're saying, oh, what about Luke Shaw? It's like, come on, really? When was the last time Luke Shaw was fit for a whole season? There's a good trivia question for you. The last time that just seeing when the last time. So the last time that Lisandro Martinez played football was in February, and we're in July now. So what's that? 5 months ago. Yeah, the last time he played football was 5 months ago, guys. Lisandro. Somebody's saying he's out till November. Madness. Al says, do you think Mbeumo is going to play as a wing-back? Ant, thank you for the super chat. Ant says, but we're only playing once a week, remember? That's all good and well, Ant, but if you're playing with once a week without a midfielder and you're getting run for every week, you're playing with a goalkeeper who literally, throws the ball into his own net, practically. You're playing with a striker, Højlund, who scored 4 goals last season. You're playing with wing-backs who aren't even wing-backs. It's all good and well only playing once a week, but I don't know. That doesn't mean that we're suddenly going to start beating teams. And if anything, I don't know. I get the whole squad numbers thing, that playing once a week, but that still doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a good starting 11, What our starting 11, if you were to pick it now for the first game of the season, it's probably going to be Onana in goal. It's probably going to be De Ligt, Lenny Yoro, Maguire. It will probably be either Dorgu or Shaw at left wing back. Probably would be Dallo at right wing back. It's probably going to be Ugarte and Bruno in the midfield. We don't like Bruno as a number 6. It doesn't work. It will probably be Xerxes or Højlund as the striker, and then Mbeumo and Cunha as the 2 10s. Our attack has definitely improved, don't get me wrong, but we still don't have a striker. Realistically. Someone says we have a good team. I like the positivity, but you've got to be real as well. Wait until we play Arsenal first game of the season and we lose, and I'll do a match reaction, and everyone will be losing their shit, saying, it's a disgrace, we didn't sign the players, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? The first game of the season is literally in 2 weeks, guys. The Premier League starts 2 weeks this Friday. That's what I'm saying. Fred says, can we really start the season with Højlund and Onana? Exactly. What about Ahmad? That's a good question. What about Ahmad? Where is Ahmad going to play? Ahmad's one of our best players, right? Is he going to play as a wing-back? Is he going to play as a central attacking midfielder? Yeah. Can we beat Arsenal? The thing is, right, we can beat any team in the world on our day, I think. In a standalone one-off game, we can beat any team in the world. Genuinely believe that. But over the course of a 38-game season, we might beat Arsenal the first game of the season, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we do. I'd also wouldn't be surprised if we lose 4-0. There's genuinely no way of predicting it. We could easily go and beat them. We could easily go and get battered by them. And there's no way of predicting. Like, we could go and beat Arsenal 2-0 first game of the season and then go away to Craven Cottage and play Fulham and lose 4-0. And no one would be surprised. So it's just so hard to predict. We're not consistent. And that is predominantly down to the fact that we don't have a consistent team, a solid team. But yeah, obviously beating West Ham, great. I still think there was a lot of question marks and red flags in that game, though. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Hopefully this week plays out and goes well. But Amir says Colby Mainu and Manuel Ugarte are the perfect midfield duo. I don't know. I feel like Mainu's better further up the pitch, but I know what you're saying, mate. But I do genuinely think that Mainu's more effective in a more attacking role. But yeah, we'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap the video up here, guys. I've gone through everything that I had planned for this morning. We got a super chat coming in from Ray quickly. Ray says, I am more concerned, can we be consistent for 38 games than Arsenal? Exactly, Ray. You're completely right. Like I said, I would not be surprised if we go and beat Arsenal first game of the season. And all the United fans are going to be like, we're back. We're going to win the league. You know, Ineos madness, Ineos this, Ineos that. Oh my God, you know, Omar Barada, legend. Jason Wilcox, incredible. Jim Ratcliffe. Build him a statue, and then we'll go away to Craven Cottage the week after, and we'll lose 4-0 to Fulham, and everyone will be like, disgrace, sack the manager, get him out. Like, it's going to happen. And we've got to, as a fan base, be conscious of that and be aware of that and know that this is going to be a rocky season. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. We might go and beat some big teams, and people will be like, we're back. But let's just try and not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah. So I'm not saying don't enjoy it. Obviously, if you go and beat Arsenal, enjoy it. You know, message your friends who support Arsenal and rub it in. Because as a Man United fan now, I've realised that you have to enjoy every positive because they don't come that often, you know. I remember, right, when we won the Europa League against Ajax, I didn't even celebrate. I was just like, I literally was like, oh, this is, you know, we're too good for this. Or at least we're in the Champions League. Like, obviously I celebrated, but I wasn't, do you know what I mean? And then after that, when we went on that drought of trophies for so long, when we won the League Cup, I was so happy. And that's the League Cup. That's like the worst trophy in football. That's literally like the worst trophy you could win, isn't it? The League Cup. But when we won that League Cup trophy, I was so happy. So I kind of have realised that as a Man United fan now, you have to celebrate every small positive because otherwise it's just like negative all the time, isn't it? So hopefully we go and beat Arsenal. If we go and beat Arsenal, I'm going to be very, very happy. I'll be dancing around. I'll be messaging my friend who supports Arsenal saying, sack Arteta. You know, I'll be winding him up. You got to, innit? You got to have a bit of fun. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, you know? Because with the squad we have, with the players we have, we know that the week later we could go and lose to anybody, you know? Burnley, Fulham, whoever it might be. So obviously, get behind the team, get behind the manager, get behind the players. But someone says it's a new season. How can you say we're going to have a bad season? Because we've got the same team as we did last year, mate. We have the same team as we had last year. In fact, our team is probably worse because at the beginning of last season, Garnacho was world class. People in this chat would have said he's worth 100 million this time last year, right? Garnacho, he's banished from the team. Last season we had Antony. Okay, he was a squad player, but it's still an option. Last season we had Johnny Evans, experienced, won pretty much everything in the game. He was one of our defenders. We had Ericsson, been around for forever. We also had Lindelof, okay? So already if you count these numbers, Garnacho out, Lindelof out, Evans out, Ericsson out. That's 4 players, right? Then you've got Rashford. He was here last season, beginning of last season, right? That's 5 players. Sancho I'm not going to include, but the point I'm making is 5 players are gone, yeah? Lindelof, Eriksen, Sancho will be gone, Rashford will be gone. It was 6 players, and we brought in 2. So just based on pure mass, we've let 6 players go and we've brought in 2. Now, I get that we're not going to be playing 3 games a week, and I get that we need a smaller squad, but the team that finished 15th last season, 6 players have gone. All of the other players are still there, though, and 2 new players have come in. So we'll see anyway. Like, you know, it's all just an opinion. It's all just an opinion. I'm just saying that I strongly believe that we need a goalkeeper, a striker, and a midfielder. If we do that, I think we'll be solid. If we don't do that, I think we could lose against any team because our midfield will get run through. Onana will make mistakes, and we don't have a striker to score goals. It's relatively simple, you know. Maybe Onana turns into prime, prime Casillas or prime whoever. Maybe Højlund turns into prime Lewandowski this season. Maybe Casemiro rolls back the years and is the Rolls Royce that he was at Real Madrid. You know, maybe that does happen. Anything can happen in football, but based off what we've seen so far, that's probably not going to happen. So, yeah, the midfielder, the goalkeeper, and a striker. Those 3 are key positions. Hopefully, we get them done, and yeah, we'll be much better for it. But anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined me on the show this morning. I really, really appreciate all of your support. Please do me one favor before you leave. Make sure to drop a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Sorry I wasn't here the last couple of days. I was extremely busy, but I'll be back now. And yeah, have a great day, everybody. Make sure to get your thoughts on everything in the comment section below. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Have a good one. Speak to you all later. Bye for now.